Okay, warm welcome once again. My name is Karima. I'm the European Your Eye Coordinator, and it's my big pleasure to introduce our next Earth Healing call today. So, as I mentioned, we are recording the session, and please feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. We are right now not a moderate group, so we'll also have a good chance to meet each other during the Q&A session. And yeah, happy to be here with another, what I'm sure will be an amazing presentation by our dearest Elisabeth Ziegler-Dureger from Austria, who works together with Hassan Abu Ali in Syria, in northern Syria. Dear Lauren, would you say a few words before we get started about this series and how we are collaborating on it?
Absolutely. Thank you, Karima. And it is a joy always to gather with those of you who would call Europe your region across the URI network. We are always celebrating and looking for acts of earth restoration that allow us to restore earth and restore one another. We know that around the world there is conflict, there is violence against one another and against our land and our water. And so this series has absolutely been about sharing examples from our own backyards sometimes and bigger projects still that allow us to care for our land and our water and one another. And today we're going to hear one of the very exciting examples of how that has been happening
How are you all?
cooperatively across a lot of geography. So I am excited today to learn more about this act of peace building and earth restoration. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Lauren. So, with that, we tend it to our dear sister and friend Elisabeth, and who will be working with Hassan and show us some amazing, heartful, and mindful and active work. Welcome, dear Hassan and Ludmilla. Over to you, Elisabeth.
How are you all? How are you all?
Thank
I,
you. Good to meet you.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
I hope the presentation is working. Can you can you see the?
It's perfect, Elizabeth. We can
Okay,
see it and we
you
hear
can
you
see.
all as well. Yep.
Okay, okay. So I'm on the next page. I started with the information that to change a country, you only need flower pots and a teacher. But it has to be a special teacher. That's that's the basis. And just who we are, most of you are familiar with us, with the theme between Austria and Syria. But you can see Hassan Abu Ali. He was born in Aleppo, 1989, and he studied electronics and did never garden before. I had the idea to give the women flower pots. He is the manager of three refugee camps in northern Syria in the area of Aleppo. And I'm an 71-year-old librarian in Austria with a good imagination how people feel if they are sitting in tents, or women feel who are sitting in tents for 14 years. And so my history is the basis of everything that happened ever since then. The next. I just show you this because I want to encourage you not to be in despair if your dreams take 50 years to realize. So it's never too late to have a dream and never too early. So my dream to make the desert green started 50 years ago with a book that I read in the library. Then 28 years ago, I started a project in the library to translate an Austrian story in many languages and also in Arabic. 10 years ago, I saw a documentary on the British Channel 4 about the last garden of Aleppo. And this gave me the motivation and the emotion to to work in Syria. And then I think this was a management by heaven that I got to know 4 years ago that there is a man in Syria, near Aleppo, with Hassan Abu Ali, called Hassan Abu Ali. And then I sent him the story, the Arabic version of the story for the kids. But kids who have nothing to eat do not need anything to read. So we started other kinds of work. The problems are, of course, well known. There is no money in refugee camps for millions of people, and without money they cannot buy food. The women have no chance to earn money because they are not educated. Then there was no water. We had to buy every drop of water. No sanitary abilities, so it was a really a terrible situation. We in our rich Western countries cannot imagine how it was. There, Hassan told me that the heat in summer is even more challenging than the storms in winter, because in the tents there are 50 degrees Celsius and they cannot bring in any cool air, not even in the night. So he started to cover the tents with a special material, so the temperature got down to 30 degrees. So that's really a much better situation. In the wintertime, snow, flooding, and storms destroyed tents. The school tent was then underwater for 2024. And this year, the flooding was especially bad because many fields were underwater. And so the farmers in Syria had the opposite problems of the farmers in Austria. We have had a very severe drought here. So, and therefore, I have a new dream to start a prayer circle for rain justice, so that there all over the world no areas have too less or too much rain. So this is my new idea and hope and project. And another problem was, of course, the permanent bombing from Russian airplanes, where then farmers, they killed farmers in the fields, or they burned down the wheat fields. And this was dangerous. Every time Hassan went or used the car, he was in life danger too. And you can see on the picture, on the little girl was hurt by a bombing near the camps. It's one of the kids in our camps. And then we started the first steps. You can see here these flower pots with a very special outcome. And it's just such an easy and small step. And that's the other message I would like to give today. You really can start with a very small thing, like this the little seed of a large that will grow to a large tree. It's maybe, or you can see, a flower pot. And Hassan and the people you see the kids in the it that's near the school tent. The kids filled the pots and to make them happy. I think they had some ice cream or something that makes them happy after the work and watching and taking care so that the seeds and it's really every year not only the plants are growing, but also the knowledge about what they need and how to can take seeds from their own fruits and so that it's easier every year. And for this project in 2022, we got a silver medal from the World Interfaith Harmony Week for this project. And we are very proud of this. Here you can see the next very important steps. Of course, digging a well. Nobody in our country could work with this machine that was digging the well 458 meters deep with problems. So it had to start another digging and with the car and the special water. Hassan is now delivering, or since then delivering into every camps around, and not only to people to the camps and gardens, but also to other camps in the surrounding. Then the next important step was starting nurseries. This is the first nursery for vegetable plants, and you can see 70,000 little plants were grew in the nursery and then in the garden. So, and I was really jealous because Hassan's plants are growing much better than mine in my garden. So he is very only without any chemicals, only with chicken manure and the friendship from Austria is his answer when neighbors ask him because why his plants are, are growing so well. You can also see the woman working there in the nursery. We call them the Sisters of Mariam. The idea behind this was to show to make a group of the women who are they are 12 women and they got a little white blanket to wear, so they really have the feeling they are something special, and they if they work together and together they can really change a lot of the situation in the camps. And Sisters of Mariam, because I choose Mariam is Holy Mary is well known in Islam and in Christianity, and it's for me it's so the link between the women here and the women there, and they are very happy about this. And so you can see this was the start with 88,000. Now there are 88,000 plants growing in the nurseries. And then Hassan started organizing wheat seeds and potato seeds and preparing the ground for the fields and manure. And then you can see how his cabbage is growing, and he always looks that every family gets the same amount of the different things, so that there is no fight between the families and no jealousy. And so that's very important for him to have peace in the camps, that not there is enough war outside. So but in the camps we have a lot of peace. And he told me, because I asked him, are the people not fighting to each other? He said, no, there are only women and they don't fight each other. Then every time I found a new idea for gardening, I've sent him the YouTube videos. And this was an idea from Africa, the first the gardening in a bag. Then to the World Environmental Day, and he started to show the kids to how they can, because the kids are supposed to go back to their villages after their houses are rebuilt, so that they know how to do this work on their own. This was very important for us always to have the kids in working with us. And this picture I like, that's so special for me because it shows we in our library in Lienz have a lot of MINT education, mathematics, informatics, and natural. And at the same time, the kids in Lienz got more to know about the universe. Also, the kids in Syria had lessons about astronomy and techniques and so, and they were so happy to be, I'm the Jupiter, and so that's really, it makes such a lot of joy to watch them. So here you can see other parts of the work in we know, especially in my area, in not all over Austria, but in my area, every August 15 is a very big feast and in all churches are flowers. The priests are blessing flowers. And so I told our priest to bless the flowers in Syria. And I'm sure heaven will uh, bring them to this, and you can see how the pots behind and how this changes the atmosphere in the camps. Just some flowers, nothing big, no millionaire or no gift to cost millions of dollars. Just some flowers change the feeling. And then the earthquake happened, and even more traumatized people were around, and Hassan started to show them how to start a new kind of life, even on top of a house with barrels and filled with plants. What I didn't know was that the birds and bees were very affected by the war. The birds couldn't find food or a place to nest, and the soldiers killed just by fun the migrating birds over the area, and even the bees reacted very aggressive on the vibration of the bombings. So it's I hope they are much calmer, because we wanted to start beekeeping projects too, but it was not possible, only about because of the rockets always. So then, to show the kids how important peace is, because they know it, our kids should more know that. But on this picture, you can see the peace bowl they planted and made picture drawings, and I can give these drawings away in here in Hassan sent them to me. And in the background, you can see a tent with a special cover material, so that it's not so hard. This was just 10 euros for one tent, and make such a difference to the people. And here, sometimes a little bit motivation with ice cream was before planting and it's there is a farm who grows strawberries here in my area, and I get from them the strawberries. I make jam with them and send the money to Hassan. Hassan is made ice cream with strawberry jam for the kids. So therefore they are all with very that they just got the strawberry ice cream. And you can, if you see these hands and you think about what they have to do in their life, in their future. The most important thing, I'm sure, is that they know how to plant trees. They will never forget this. That's like any other skill in life that you need until you are 100 years old. You never forget to plant, the joy about planting trees. And this little girl is a kid in Aleppo, because Hassan, and she is planting flowers in these very nice pots. And, Hassan invited kids who are in a better situation in Aleppo. They live in houses, and they planted these nice flower pots with seeds of flowers. And these flowers were a gift to the kids in the camps, so that the kids in Aleppo get a feeling or get to know there are other kids in other just 30 kilometers from where I live. In a total other environment. And so this connection between the kids on a heart basis with the material of flowers is, I'm sure, also a very long-lasting experience they will have. And the last picture is made by the building in the background was a Christian monastery. It's destroyed in the region of Idlib, and the men are planting trees from Hassan. He brought them 100 trees, and they are Christians, and they were very astonished that a Muslim is bringing them trees to plant. And I'm sure, and after this, now even more Christian groups are asking Hassan for trees, and I'm sure they will grow well under Allah's sky. It's always, here you can, of course, another kid planting. And this is a picture from the nursery and all of these trees Hassan started as just a tiny part of an olive branch. And they grew in such a short time. So even this is for me, it's a miracle. And he planted, at the moment there were not only olives, but figs, pomegranates, grapes, a large variety of trees who are just waiting to be planted. One idea didn't work out. He wanted to sell them to people in Aleppo and around, but the people are still so poor that they cannot afford food to buy food so at the moment we are giving away the trees for free. It's not possible, but maybe in the future there is a way to sell them and earn money, and that he gets more self-sufficiency with his project. But at the moment we are just giving them away or plant them in the name of a person who died, or families who mourn the loss of a father or so, can ask me to plant a tree in the name of that person in Syria. And this gives the feeling that then for the family that their mother or father is working for good, even long after they died. And this is a very special kind of getting donations for me, and even to change the feelings of mourning when you think that my father is just gone, and it's different if when I know my father is watching the trees grow in Syria. And this next picture is where you can see one tree in Aleppo, on the same place where the last gardener of Aleppo, the video that motivated me. So, and last year Hassan could plant a tree exactly at the place where this gardener was killed. And this was, for me, very special, emotional. And I have sent the picture to the Channel 4 in Great Britain to show them how important. This was only a 10 minutes documentary. And this is the outcome from it. Without this 10 minutes film, I wouldn't have the inner longing to do something there. So my other message is to you is sometimes it doesn't make or need a long documentary or a scientific research. Just 10 minutes with the right story can change the hearts of people. And yeah, that's 10 years ago, 2016. I have seen the video, and that's the outcome. So please, Europe people, make short videos with good stories, and then you can watch the grow. This picture with the kids with was after the whole country got to breathe again for new. And they are so proud about the flag. So, and when I compare it with kids in Austria, our kids only wear flags when they play football or when they watch a football game. They don't wear the Austrian flags when they plant trees. So this is really a very special sign of how proud they are about their country, and how I'm sure they have a lot of fear in their hearts still. What will happen? There is such a lot of destruction, or so many houses are destroyed, and streets and schools. But they smile, and maybe in some years they are important people and can do a lot, and their work started with a tree or with a melon in the heart. So this is one of my favorite pictures. And I always think I counted the seeds of a pumpkin in my garden, and it had 495 seeds. And then I counted how many generations do you have to plant these seeds to reach all people on earth. And in only 4 generations, with one pumpkin seed in my garden, I could have covered the whole planet. For every person, every 9 billion people could have their own pumpkin of just one seed. And I think these melons also have a lot of seeds. They regrow in the next year. And this is, for me, this gives me such a lot of hope. Thank all for watching. This is the last picture of the story of the little owl. And yeah, you can give it, and we have now 48 translations, so we could do a lot of more good things on planet Earth in 174 countries at the moment. I counted where the translations are can be read. And there is a very nice animated film made by students in Kenya by the Learning Lions. So it's really worth to watch it. And this is also Hassan's work. He refused to let the war win over his heart. And so he planted flowers in a rocket he found in the fields. And after the regime change, he also planted flowers in the head of a statue of Assad. And I think this is such a strong message that with something very smooth and fragile, you can overcome the power of rockets if you survive. But yeah. And therefore, the nursery, we have a picture from with the logo from URI and picture of peace trees, Friedensbaum. So all trees who are growing are messages for peace and friendship and overcoming everything that happens in our in the minds of some people who cannot feel for how long the destruction in the hearts will remain. We can see it in Austria. The last war is 80 years ago, and we are still suffering. Some people are still suffering from it, and there are tensions. Here you can find our contact information if you want. And please always remember, to change a country, you only need a teacher and flower pots. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
you, dear
you.
Elizabeth.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Hassan Abu Ali. I think this is a lot of information we just got. First of all, hi everyone. I don't know if you heard my voice since the start of the meeting. And welcome. Thank you very much on behalf of the Earth Healing team for being here today. Before we open the floor for some perhaps questions that our guests might have, I would like to say, Elizabeth, Hassan Abu Ali, that your work and what you have done sparked um, a discussion between me and myself in my head. But while I share these ideas that I've had with you, I would like to invite everyone to think of a question or perhaps a thought or a comment that you might want to share with Elizabeth and Hassan. So, three words come to mind, Elizabeth and Hassan, when I was listening to your work: resistance, interconnectedness, and healing. And not only that, but healing through resistance and interconnectedness. And this is what you're doing. And this reminded me of another very famous saying, which is 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step.
Mhm.
And it might be a small translation of a book you love, a small outreach to someone that you think or believe has the opportunity to do things. But what you have done is a great example of how we should continue to work together. So, I would like to open the floor for questions or comments that people might have. If you're not comfortable speaking, please feel free to type in your question in the chat. Otherwise, by raising your hand or just unmute yourselves, we are a handful of people today, so this allows us to have a bit more of an open discussion. I can say a lot, but I would like to give everyone the opportunity for that. And another comment I've had, yeah, Karima.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for the work you've been doing, and Hassan, and thank you, Dima. I have two. I mean, it's there is many impressive how little things lead to more things, but also incredible work, really, and commitment that is so inspiring. I wanted to ask you to repeat the story of the seeds, the pumpkin seeds, because I found that particularly impressive how quick you could reach the entire world. But also, I'm struck or stunned by um, I think that you and Hassan haven't never met in person,
No.
but yeah, you are doing incredible things together. So maybe you can say a little bit more how that works, and this can also be an encouragement, I think, for many of us.
Yeah, the pumpkin story is I planted a pumpkin plant in my garden. And because my garden is very natural with a lot of nettles, and so I couldn't see that there was a pumpkin growing. And in the, in the I think in September, I just looked whether there is one, and I really found such a large pumpkin, and I was so happy about that. I counted the seeds that he contained, and then I just what happens if I could plant every of these 495 seeds, and they all grow, and every plant brings another 495. So, and if you just multiply this, you reach more than 9 billion after 5 generations of planting all the seeds of the pumpkins. And for me, this numbers gave such a lot of hope, because it's really incredible how Mother Nature is working. And Hassan is using the seeds of the plants from the last year, and so he does not need to buy seeds anymore. He had to buy them in the first year, but not now. And he also teaches the people to keep seeds. We only would need some years, and the planet could have enough food if that. We didn't need meet in person. Has about an hour until I tell him to go to sleep because it's too late. And he
El
stressed
Elizabeth, maybe you can switch off the camera for a moment
and
because the voice is breaking.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
thank
okay,
you. I think it's better now.
good. And only with the technical possibilities from our time, you could do a work.
Still breaking, unfortunately. Yeah.
We are only
Maybe we need all to switch off our cameras. Hmm.
It may be necessary to leave and come back.
Yeah, Elizabeth, Could you leave the meeting and come back? Because the voice is breaking very much right now. So let's wait a second.
And we see that Morgana would like to add something, but I suggest that we wait for Elizabeth to come back so that she can hear the comment or the question.
And Sally is sharing wisdom.
Yes, I'm here. So.
Okay. So we couldn't hear you for a while, but then we could try to continue. If it doesn't work, Elizabeth, it might be good that you go leave the meeting and come back. But let's try one more
So
time.
I'm very thankful. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, right now, yes, but it's breaking. Yeah, let's give it a try.
It's breaking. I don't know what happens to.
Seems clear now. So let's try, Morgana.
Okay.
Yeah, because Elizabeth was breaking up, but I wanted to actually add something about my own experience of how Elizabeth has actually been working with not just a project, but it's actually turned out a kind of movement. And that was highly evident when we were in Lienz in, I think it was 2000, I can't remember which year it was, Karima.
23.
Oh, 2023, yes. And Elizabeth did absolutely everything to give us an idea of what it's actually like. All the meals were prepared from seeds and vegetables and many other ingredients, which were actually part of this whole project. And some of the people I know were sort of like, oh, they wanted to do German bratwurst and all the rest of it. But it was amazing. I really was truly grateful to Elizabeth to show us how it can be really that circular idea, but also including the whole community and helping people to realize what it is to actually grow things, the whole process, and the problems you have with natural disasters, whether it's storm, and how people really have to also overcome so many obstacles. But of course, in Syria, they had the added problems. So it was amazing when we were able to really experience in the end how Elizabeth has really been so active, but also helping us to understand what it really is like. So I'm eternally grateful. I learned so much about that, Elizabeth. So I just wanted to because you were breaking up, I thought I'd like to just speak on your behalf. I know you're very shy about your own achievements.
And one could add, actually, thank you, Morgana, that like the community there in Lienz was preparing the food and some of that was donated. And then the money that we saved was used to pay for some of the food in the camps.
Yes.
And then we had the same meals in Lienz and there. So which is also so nice to have it the same, yeah, as you were mentioning.
Exactly. It was very interactive in that sense, but it was just it brought it really, really home as to how difficult it is, but how once you really get the community involved, that every little, I always say every drop of helps. This every every grain of earth probably, or every worm helps, and we can all be little worms. So it was brilliant. Thank you again, Elizabeth.
And thank you for the comments. Yes, Lauren, please, you don't need to raise your hand.
Just two thoughts. Dimitar, you were saying interconnectedness, and I wonder, practically speaking, how this has happened. Just what's involved in the shipping or the transfer of funds? How has that worked? And then the resistance, also Dimitar presenced. Hassan, you are not a gardener. You had to overcome an incredible learning curve. And look at I mean, it just feels miraculous what you have done there. So, I want to name those two things, and perhaps Hassan, you have an explanation of why you have become so good at this. But th those two things.
I will write the question to Hassan in the chat so he can answer it. Because
chat انترنت سوريا باد يعني انترنت باد سيء شات the question يعني أي سؤال شات.
And while you're writing, Elizabeth, perhaps if you would like to say a few words about this as well, the pure logistics that Lauren mentioned, how does this happen practically? Because you talk about sending trees and
no, no,
getting
no, no,
funding and
no, no, no,
no,
no. I couldn't send anything from from Austria to Syria. I only transfer money. But I tried that the people here get a special connection to the things that are happening with the money. So at the moment, they can take over the responsibility for a brick for a new house or for a book for the library, or so they know that's my book in the library in Syria or my tree in the garden of Syria. And I am sending the money with PayPal. This is with all the problems we had with our bank because of the sanctions of the US sanctions to about over Syria. But I could send the money with PayPal directly to Hassan, and this guy was the other large organizations like the Red Cross or SOS Children's Village, all the especially after the earthquake, 40% of all donations were kept by Turkey. Or if some of the Al-Nusra Front got to know tree, they took 40%. So from 100 euros of donation for the poor people after the earthquake in Syria, only about 8 euros reached the people. And only our money, because it goes directly from my bank to Hassan's bank, was for 100% of the money reached really the people. And this is a great yeah, I'm happy about that. So I don't have to tell the donors that they finance the Turkish army with their donations or religious extremists as have been in the Al-Nusra Front in until now. At the moment, there is the situation. I thought that I asked Hassan he can or whether he could offer the trees to the mayor of Aleppo, but he told me then they would take all. they, they won't pay him trees. Oh yes, because I thought this would be an easy way to sell them to the mayor or to the, but he said no chance they would have said that that's our property and no. So we still have to
thank
do
you.
it under the radar of the big politics.
Thank you, Elizabeth. This is really important to know because it helps us imagine what type of work you're actually doing. Um, to answer your question, Lauren, Hassan simply puts it, continuous work leads to success. And I think it could not be more true than that. And since we are going towards the end of our webinar or session today, I would like to finish with the words that Sally put in the chat earlier. She says, they tried to bury us. They didn't know that we were seeds. I will not comment on that. I will just leave it sink in. And once again, thank Elizabeth and Hassan, first of all, for presenting their work today. Second of all, for doing such a great work together. We could only take examples. But over to you, Karima, or Lauren, perhaps.
Thank you, Dimitar and Elizabeth and Hassan, and thank you all for being here together. Yeah, I think Lauren will gift us with some resource you will present. You always bring
Surely.
amazing resources that are related to earth healing. So looking
So
forward
we've
to
been,
hearing this one.
yeah, we've been trying in this Earth Healing series to share a tool at the end of each call, something that all of us can go and try on our own, just right away, without much effort. And today I want to talk about Restore. You saw a mention of that on the final slide that Elizabeth presented. And I will share my screen now to take you to the Restore site where URI is listed. Now, if you visit Restore, which is spelled Restor, you will not see this page unless you have a profile yourself. But what you will see is a map that allows you to start to look at all of the projects that are happening around the world. And Restore is a fantastic tool for all of us because Restore does the science. We don't have to be the technical experts. Restore will help us to enter some information, and then they will create a profile for us that allows us to be located by other people around the world. And it also allows us to track what is happening in the plot of land that we are restoring. You'll see up here that there are also opportunities for funding. So there are different mangrove restoration projects, there are different reforestation projects for forests, and I highly recommend that you get on here and look around a little bit. I want to put in one of the URI CCs. Oh, maybe it's not going to do it when I share my screen. Is that coming up for you all? It's maybe not actually navigating there. Um, when we go to Nasakuri, for example, one of our projects in Uganda, it zeroes in the on the map of where Nasakuri is, and then we're able to back out and learn more about that site. And you also saw that Camp Miriam has a spot in the restore map. So you will be able to find those locations and more. I'm actually meeting with the restore team later today, and my hope is that more and more CCs will start to use Nasakuri. Restore, so that we can see things like we just saw with Nasakuri. I did put in the chat box just now a link. It's just a 3-minute video, but it peeks at more of how Restore is doing their work. And please, 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 there's no project too small. So you can even enter your backyard and receive information about what to plant there. So have some fun with it and watch for more information coming from URI about how more CCs can be tracking their restoration progress using the Restore website.
Great.
And I'm a little bit proud that I brought URI and Restore together.
Yes, you did, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yes, you did. I met Restore at COP, but I only met them at COP because Elizabeth had said, there's this cool guy who's doing this thing. So props to Elizabeth.
Yeah, they are
Wow.
from the University of Switzerland. This project started, and Tom Crowther, the founder of Restore, earned the Earthshot Prize of Prince William 2 years or 4 years ago, I think. And he gave a very inspiring talk just 1 month ago that I listened to. He really is very good in motivate people to start the work, even in the backyard. Yes, because my garden is a puzzle part of the whole planet, and if my garden is a good puzzle, then it helps the planet with one pumpkin seed.
We order 495. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren and Elizabeth. I do have a quiz for you. Would be very grateful if you could complete it. We do it over all these webinars, and it's quite interesting to see. It's a little collecting, gathering a little bit of feedback, and I'm going to start it. And would ask you to just take 2-3 minutes to complete it. Can you see it? Good. And that will be useful for us. And so I'll simply let you do that and read it and be quiet. This way you can concentrate on the questions. I think you need to click on your choice and then on submit. Otherwise it will not submit. Okay, I think we are probably good. Are we? Okay, so then I will close it. Thank you very much for participating in that. And Elizabeth, do we have a closing by Hassan? A spiritual closing? And yourself?
The question chat يعني ما لحقت أجاوب شات the question.
Yeah. There is gratitude in the chat. I don't know, Sally, would you be prepared to close us off with a prayer or a wish or some blessing?
Well, that's such a deep honor. Nature is so full of miracle, is what I take away from this. And Elizabeth and Hassan, your devotion and love and friendship is connected, weaves with this divine power in nature to heal, to feed in body and soul and spirit, in mind. I just want to say deep thanks to the divine creator and to each of us who hold a vision. As Hassan said, we will regreen Syria. Just to hold that, we as human beings have that in us to say that after war has devastated our country. Hassan, Elizabeth, each of us, none of us are too small a sapling. We're each a pumpkin seed. So let's get going and nurture ourselves and people all around us. It's a joy to be with each person here. Ludmilla, so good to see you after thousands of years. Bye-bye. Thank
Yeah,
you.
lovely.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sally, and lovely to see you all. Yeah, have a good morning, good evening, and
I
blessings.
pray in Arabic.
Hassan is
I
praying.
pray.
Yeah.
Yes,
أصلي
please.
لأجل السلام حول العالم من أجل تحقيق الأمن والعدالة، وأن يكون الجميع أخوة في كل أنحاء العالم، ولا يكون هناك أي قتل أو أي دمار في كل جميع دول العالم، ونصلي من أجل مناخ أفضل وحياة أفضل، ونكون أخوة رغم اختلاف الثقافات والأديان على جميع هذه الرقعة التي نعيش عليها من الكرة الأرضية، وأن نكون أخوة براذر. آمين.
Amen.
We are all brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you, Hassan.
I
What?
pray I pray for peace, trust, and equality around the world.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Have a good day and good evening, and yeah, hope to see you again soon. And God bless you all. Bye bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.